we're going to have the Mayor, Tanya Richardson, come and open this event today. So come on up, Tanya. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Yeah, big applause. Thank you. I'd just like to say a warm welcome to everyone. Welcome this morning. Thanks for coming down today. There's something really important about people getting together for a really important cause, and every year this amazing event gets bigger and bigger. I'd just like to start with our warm welcome, which is Kaya Kardich Wajak Nungabuja. The City of Swan acknowledges the traditional custodians of this region, the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation, for their continuing connection to the land and waters and community. And I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present and their descendants, and those that are emerging as well. But just welcome to everybody in general this morning who's had a chance to come down and join us for this very, very important occasion. What a turnout, you guys. You see the crowd. Like every year this gets bigger and bigger, and I get more excited about it because that means that we're getting the word out there, and I think that's a really important thing. So just good morning to our distinguished guests. We've got Honourable Clacy Hurst, Member for the Legislative Council of Western Australia. Give them a big wave, Clacy, so they know who you are. She's down the front. Feel free to come and talk to any of the members of Parliament here this morning, to get around, talk to our stallholders, to our stakeholders. It's really important if you have something to discuss and talk about to come and say hi to them. The Honourable Jessica Stokowski, MLA Minister for Child Protection, Prevention of Family and Domestic Violence, also assisting the Minister for Transport. Give them a big wave, Jess. She's down the front too. And we have Ms Tanya Lawrence, who will be joining us, and she's the MP, your local member for Hasluck, who you can always go and see opposite Santuros if you need to have a word to her. She's always there. Lovely Michelle Maynard, our member for MLA, member of Swan Hills. Morning, Michelle. Michelle's over in Ellenbrook, so if you're over that way, you've got friends or family, Michelle's always available. Her staff are very helpful as well. Please make contact with your members of Parliament. To all our present councillors this morning, good morning. To all the members of the Swan Family and Domestic Violence Network, to our wonderful community that have come out today. Today we celebrate 12 years of Midland standing together against family and domestic violence. And this just amplifies the message that we're trying to get out there, which is the message of hope for victims, survivors, but also for those in the future and those around us and our family members who may or may not be experiencing family domestic violence. This year's theme, as you might know, is Play Your Part. What does that mean? We're going to celebrate and acknowledge everyone from all walks of life rallying together today, coming together, standing together to say, we're going to stand up to bullies. That's what it's about. No, we're going to say no to abusers, no to, the verbal abuse, no to the snarky comments, no to things that are happening in our family dynamics that are going to make things worse for our children. There is no excuse for abuse. At the City of Swan, we are absolutely proud to be part of that process with you. We are here to support you in the community. If there's anything we can do, if you need to ring me, you're more than welcome to ring me. I'm a great listener. I can also point you in the direction of any services that you might need. Today we've got an amazing array of service providers here to help you, to help your friends, to help your loved ones. We have great support out there. It's just taking that courage and that first step to get on the phone, to talk to someone, to ask for some help. And that's all we can do as friends, family and listeners. We're going to walk together today for this awareness of domestic violence. We're going to create this network around us, and we're going to continue to grow this event so that we can be there for anyone in the community to make it easier to just slide into getting some help. We've got a lot of community training, a lot of projects and events here that could assist someone that you may know. Could be even yourself. So I'd just like to thank the Swan Family and Domestic Violence Network for your tireless support for the residents of the City of Swan, but also the broader community, because it's you who knows what's going on, and you know your family members, you know your friends, and we've got to try and break down that wall and make it that it's not embarrassing, it's not shameful, it's asking for help. So not only do your individual services offer this innovative way and vital assistance for our community, but you also find time in your busy day as well to come here to help during the year to organise these amazing events that are going to raise that awareness for us. And that is all about today. Other groups that are also playing an amazing part are the businesses, our government departments, our agencies here, the resource and the donations that we get to support this event, and we want to see that coming in, and we are truly grateful for their support. So I just want to say that events like today absolutely shine a light on the issue, And that key message is providing a safe space for survivors to seek help. It also demonstrates how resilient our community is, and we just continue to grow our environment and grow those community supports. We want to make sure that breaking the cycle of abuse is easier and easier on everyone here. So today we're playing our part in putting abusers on notice. It stops here. I would now also just like to say again to everyone, thank you very much for bringing this to the light, because we know it's out there, we know it's happening, but I'm going to do my part to stop that when I see it happening. I'd love to now introduce Ani Ryder, OAM, to welcome us to Whadjuk Noongar Budja country. Thank you. Oh, no, she's got this.
Not as tall as you are either, so I need to calm down. Don't say I'm tiny, please. I've already been told today. So, good morning all, and thank you for coming along to our 12th Midland March That Matters, with this year's theme being Play Your Part in Stopping Family and Domestic Violence. Kaya Nunakot Wanju, Wanju Nicha Noongar Budja, Whadjuk Noongar Budja. Hello everyone, welcome to Noongar country, Whadjuk Noongar country. Today we are meeting on Noongar land of the Whadjuk people who are the traditional custodians of this area. I pay my respects to elders past and present, and I respectfully acknowledge our elders here today. I also acknowledge our young people who will take our Noongar culture into the future. I'm a Whadjuk and Yuit Noongar elder. My family are also the Yamatji people from the Midwest, the Nadu people from Norseman Balladonia areas, and the Bipperman Nation from Israelite Bay. I always find this a really hard welcome to country to do, as domestic violence remains a real problem within our community, no matter where we come from, our culture, our age, our financial position. It can affect us directly or indirectly. Domestic violence against women and children is still happening in 2025. It could be someone's, or it could be our mum, our daughter, our nan, our sister, our granddaughter, our auntie, our cousin, our close friend, and our work colleague. I speak from personal experience of a tragic death of my auntie many years ago, and the effect that it had on her children, my cousins, with two of her daughters also becoming victims of domestic violence. But for me, because many support services now in place to help children of victims of domestic violence, I've always wondered the impact her passing on in such, sorry, the wind is a little bit busy, passing in such tragic circumstances had on her children, and because of the lack of support systems back all those years ago, whether it had become a generational trauma that was also passed on to her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren and future generations. And I don't think that we will ever truly know or measure that impact. The Midland March That Matters has been and is a way for us to come together as a community, to stand up, to speak out, and to hopefully change what people believe is an acceptable behaviour, but also with the aim of raising awareness of the support services available to those experiencing domestic violence. Excuse me. Over the past 12 years, there's been many amazing women who have spoken here at this event. They come from a place that many of us may never have experienced. These strong, brave, courageous women have told of their lives before they left. We acknowledge them for being strong enough to leave, and for their continued courage for their future and for the future of their family. We also thank them for sharing what must have been the most difficult thing to do, but they have done this to encourage others that they too can also break the cycle. Today our thoughts are with those whose lives have been taken, and we think of their families left behind, and we respectfully acknowledge that your pain and your suffering may never be healed. Each and every one of us here today should make a personal pledge to not condone and not remain silent about violence against women and children. But without your continued support, we would not be able to create a more peaceful and safe community for all. To our young people here today, we have a few, you are our future. Our hope is that by coming along today, that you will pass on to your families and friends, your family and friends, that domestic violence is not acceptable in any form, and that there is no excuse for abuse. As we come together today as a community to raise not just awareness, but also our voices to end family and domestic violence, I welcome you to Noongar country. Wanju Nichimyunga Puja, Wajak Nyunga Puja. Welcome to Nyunga country, Wajak Nyunga country. Thank you, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you, Auntie Di. If you haven't had the pleasure of meeting Di, go and say hello. She's such a generous, warm, kind person who advocates tirelessly for things in our community. She's got, for instance, her Aboriginal Christmas party on the 19th of December. You know, all of that happens because, and it's like this event, is people coming together to do the right thing for our community and everyone doing a little bit. Di pulls it all together. Di celebrated her 70th birthday last year, and I want to be just like you when I grow up, Auntie Di. I just want to also acknowledge that we're meeting on Wajak Noongar Budja and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'm a relatively new Wadjula to Midland, and I've been really blessed of having lots of different conversations and creating lots of relationships within this community, and I'm looking forward to those growing. Thanks for being here today. My name's Angie Perkins. I'm going to read from notes. Any of you that know me know that I can talk a lot, so I'm sticking to my notes so we stay on time. I'm the chair of the Swan FDV network and also the proud CEO of Midless. I've been in both roles for about a year, and I love working in this community. It's diverse, it's strong, it's resilient, and we just get shit done. I really love that. I'm very grateful to have been given this honour, slightly terrified. Christy Darnborough is to my left. She was the chair for a very long time. She's also a very good friend of mine, so stepping in the shoes of somebody who you admire and love is a little bit daunting, but she's my #1 supporter, and I'm grateful for that. This event has been happening since 2013, and it started just small at the shopping centre, grassroots. It was before 16 days and activism was even a thing within WA, because it's going to be 10 years next year. This collaborative network, we work together to create and identify advocacy priorities for this community. We look at warm referral pathways. How can we break down the barriers? What do partnerships look like? We raise awareness and we deliver events across the city of Swan. This Midland March That Matters is only possible because of our amazing crew. Anyone who's wearing one of these t-shirts, give them a bit of a high five when you go past them. Hayley, who works for Midless, has designed these for us this year, and everyone who's wearing these shirts has played a part in today. We have another special person who's over there in the Swan FDV tent, who's just having a little bit of a yarn with Rosie next to Rosie, is Caitlin. Caitlin works for the City of Swan. She's a community development officer. She's way more than that. She's the glue that holds us all together, and we're so grateful for everything that you do, Caitlin. You're an absolute legend. Round of applause. Well done, Caitlin. We are 100% volunteer-based, and we had a few donations this year. The amazing Steve Catania, he's a really good asset to this community, and his office, you can go and see their tent and have a chat. So Ellenbrook Mile have done care packs. If anyone needs anything in the community, pop over there. Swan Rotary, Sausage Chisel. Every year you support us with this event, and we couldn't do it without you. I think the sausages is a key draw card. This year we've also got free ice cream, because who doesn't want ice cream after they had a sausage sizzle? So we've also got face painting. All of our merch was sponsored by Midland St John of God Hospital, another amazing support service in our community. We do way more than just provide medical care in our community. Midland District Department of Communities, Centre for Women's Safety, thank you for the grant, and really a massive round of applause for FAM IGA for what you do every year. You never say no, you give us lots of donations, and we really appreciate you. All of these things have meant we have marketing, we have merchandise, we have equipment. I want to also acknowledge someone else that's here today who has been a stalwart of this event, Andrea. Andrea's somewhere, and I asked her to sit at the front, and she looked at me with a funny face. Andrea, come and see me at the end. We've got a little thank you gift. Yeah, what you do hasn't been unnoticed. We're all here today to loudly declare, and I mean loudly, we don't walk in silence in this march. We go behind the police marching band because there is no room for abuse in this community. You're going to hear from speakers. We've got Ali and her amazing family. We've got Indigo Junction. We've got 20 stalls with information, free activities, face painting for everybody. Also this year, there was feedback around having a quiet space and an elders tent. Behind us, we've got the elders tent there in a quiet space. Michelle, give us away from Relationships Australia, has set up that quiet space. If you need to go and have a yarn or coffee, pop over there. Carlup's also in the elders tent, and if any of the elders want a free coffee, you just go over there and Turquoise will make sure you've got what you need. This is an open community space. As you would see, people are coming and going. We've just had a bin truck. So be careful as you're walking across here. We have got traffic management this year, and I know City of Swan have done us a solid by helping out, so thank you. Be mindful on the roads. Toilets are over at Turquoise. We have first aid on tent. Please be safe on the march. And we also have the Swan FDV network tent. So if you want to know more about what we do, come and say hello. Just do. I would like to now introduce Ali, Will and Maddie. It's a real honour to have Alison and her family come up today. Ali's a mum, a nana, it feels funny calling you a nana, sister, daughter, friend, advocate, change maker, and her wonderful dad, Will, and daughter Maddie to the stage. Ali is a family and domestic violence and sexual violence lived experience expert, passionate about creating safe communities and addressing inequity and empowering First Nations people. And when we had a yarn about Ali coming and speaking today, she said yes really quick. It's time that she spoke at this march, and I'll hand it over to you, Al.
Thank you, Angie. So 3 generations of our family are going to speak today. We're going to start with my dad, I'll go next, and we're going to finish with my daughter, Maddie.
Hello, my name's William Bain's father, Scott, and I'd like to thank everyone for making the time to attend today's event and march against domestic violence. By being here today shows that you want to support and be heard in bringing light to these heinous crimes and want change. Unfortunately, most of you here have been touched by this crime either as a victim or you know someone who has. My beautiful daughter Jessica was murdered 6 years ago by her husband, and a grandchild also taken by domestic violence this year. These horrific events have made myself, my wife, Jessica's brother and sister, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, cousins, friends and workmates are all now victims of domestic violence. Every day we think of Jess and the good times we had together, always remembering her beautiful smile and the crazy things she did. But things weren't always like that behind closed doors. We know now that the most dangerous time for victims is when they decide to leave. And this is where there must be more resources made for victims to go safely and to know that one of the worst things to do is to tell the perpetrator that they are leaving, as this puts their life and the life of their children in immediate danger. It is time for us men to step up and play our part. Let's not fool ourselves here, because men are the ones causing most of this. This year's theme, Stopping Family and Domestic Violence, play your part, calls on all of us to take action in challenging harmful behaviours and attitudes. It's about recognising the lasting change happens when we all make conscious actions in building a safer, more respectful community for everyone. Men can call out bad behaviour through various ways, including direct confrontation. But remember, never to put yourself or others in danger. You can also use questioning or not partaking in the conversation to show your disapproval. We can all take part simply by calling the police when you think someone is in danger. We often ask ourselves, if the neighbours of our daughter had called the police, would our daughter Jessica be with us now, speaking up for this cause, which she did in her work and personal life before she herself became a victim. And now we are here being her voice. If you're at work, having lunch, at the pub, playing sport, one or two or even a group of you is talking, and one person says something about how they abuse their partner or runs them down one way or another, just tell them that's not right and they need to stop. You can also use personal examples or remind the person of their better self to encourage accountability, saying things like, we are better than this. Non-aggressive methods, like not laughing at their jokes or put-downs of women, changing the subject or showing disapproval, without escalating the situation are also effective. They may decide to tell you to mind your own business or call you names to bring you down and try to make you look like a wimp. Be ready for this. Be a good role model. Teach good behaviours. Lead by example. Raise your sons to be good men. If you have displayed bad behaviour in the past, now's the time for change. Apologise, seek help, get counselling, contact the men's helpline. But always remember to leave immediately if you cannot control yourself and may cause harm. People will have more respect for a man for seeking help in one form or another. By men stepping up, it may stop the violence before it starts and may save a life. I would also like to call out to the people in our judicial system and government departments who play a huge part in protecting and keeping victims safe, to step up and take a bigger and better role in playing your part, as one life taken is one too many, as all lives matter. Believe them, protect them. It is never too late for everyone to play our part in making a better world for women, children and men who are victims and survivors, so they do not become statistics as my daughter and grandchild have. Be safe, take care, play your part. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad, and thanks, Annie Dyer, for your beautiful welcome to country, and for incredible work you do in our community. You're a powerful leader who I deeply respect. I also want to acknowledge that we are on Whadjuk land and pay my respects to elders past, present, and so that sovereignty was never ceded. Almost 30 years ago, I entered my first family violence relationship. After escaping that one, I found myself in another. But with endless love and support from my family and a deep personal commitment to give my older boys a home that was safe, full of love and full of good memories, I escaped. Those relationships ended almost 20 years ago. But sadly, that is not where my experience of family violence ends, and it's not where my family's began or ended. My family has had 2 lives violently taken from us. One of them was just a baby this year. My sister Jessica in 2019, 2 deaths in 6 years. No one should ever know this kind of pain. No family should ever carry this much loss. Our loved ones are with us every day. They are remembered, they are honoured, and they are never forgotten. The work I do now is in the hope that more lives are saved, that more families can live free from violence, that fewer children grow up carrying trauma that never should have been theirs, that family violence stops being such a widespread reality in our communities and in our country. Today, like every day, I want to speak with honesty and with integrity. This year, the 16 Days in WA campaign has been incredibly hard for me. I am grateful that we have a campaign that stands against family violence towards women and children. We need voices, we need action, we need visibility. But more and more, what should be a powerful demonstration of solidarity feels like a political circus, something polished for cameras, something that looks good from the distance, but doesn't always translate into real change on the ground. Too many want to be seen caring without doing the work that actually saves lives. And for many of us who live this work every day or carry the weight of our own stories, it hurts. It's exhausting to watch the truth of our lives turned into slogans, talking points, and photo opportunities. Trauma after trauma story, generously and bravely shared in the hope people will care and change their behaviour. Thank you to the Swan Family and Domestic Violence Network for showing up in this work every day, not just during the 16 days. Thank you for creating a community event that welcomes everyone, an event that truly understands the heart of this campaign. This gathering means more to my family than you know. Didn't think I'd get upset at that bit. Integrity matters deeply in this space, more than in any other. If we have any real hope of making progress, of stopping this issue from continuing on an upward trajectory, then we need raw, honest, challenging conversations. Government needs to share power with community and work in genuine partnership. We cannot afford to exclude voices just because they say things that you don't want to hear or because they hold you to account. But exclusion is happening. I experience it regularly and I see it around me. It's much easier to work with people who don't speak up, question your decisions, or correct your behaviour. It comes at a cost and we all pay it. The conversations I have with the federal government as the inaugural co-chair of the National Lived Experience Advisory Council for the Domestic, Family and Sexual Violence Commission and as independent member of the Closing the Gap Target 13 Sector Strengthening Working Group are significantly different to my ability to speak and influence here in WA. And we need to be real about this. WA has some of the worst outcomes in the entire country. That is not an accident. It is a result of decisions, systems, and approaches that are not working. Until people in positions of power recognise this, we are not going to see the significant improvements that families, children and communities desperately need. Integrity from our service sector, as well as from community members who hold positions of responsibility and influence, is absolutely critical also. In recent years, since the WA Family Domestic Violence Crisis Talk that I co-led with Dr. Alison Evans in September 23 and the national crisis declared by the Prime Minister in April 24, there has been an injection of money into this space. Services that have never received family violence funding before are now receiving it. That is not a bad thing. I fully support a broader range of services being resourced to do this work. But let's be honest, it should only be seen as new funding stream if you are truly committed to this area and if you are willing to do everything necessary to provide services that people experiencing violence can trust. These services must show through their actions, not just their words, that they truly stand against family violence. Violence against women, children and men. And that means the way you staff your services matters. What may have been acceptable in the past is no longer acceptable today. We are demanding higher standards because violence is no longer something hidden in the shadows. It is no longer taboo. People are speaking, communities are speaking, and survivors are refusing to be silent. Your board, your advisory groups, your consultants, every person you bring into your organisation must be people who are respected, honourable, and known for acting with integrity. Not only in their professional roles, but also in their personal lives. Not only because integrity doesn't stop at the office door. It is who you are all the time. People experiencing violence are telling me repeatedly that they cannot access certain services in our state because those services employ or have a close relationship to people who are causing harm in our communities. They may not have criminal records, but it is common knowledge that some people involved in these workplaces they use violence themselves or stand by silently while it happens, even when they could intervene. Receiving money to work in this area is not a right. It should only go to those who are genuinely able and willing to provide a safe, trustworthy environment and the highest standards of service to the people in our community who are most at risk. Lastly, I want to speak directly to every person here today who has experienced violence from someone who should have cared for them, someone they should have been safe with. Hand on heart, I want you to know this. I stand here today for my children, parents, family and community. For the family members that we've lost, for every person who didn't make it out, for every person who is still living a nightmare, and for those that continue to live with the trauma long after the violence has stopped. Every story someone has bravely shared with me, every story I have read, watched or heard comes with me into every meeting, every event, every consultation I'm part of. I carry you with me and I always speak up. It is a huge honour to hold the positions I hold and to work on the projects I work on in this space. I am passionate and fierce and I say the things the things that people experiencing violence need me to say. I say what others can't or won't. Titles do not impress me. How you treat people does. That is what really matters. I am not intimidated by men or women who have money or power. I will always speak up for every person experiencing violence and for those whose lives have been violently taken. Your voices are the most important voices to me. and every opportunity I'm given, every room or event I walk into, I will push for long-lasting, meaningful change that reaches every person who needs it. You are not forgotten, you matter, and I will keep speaking up for you loudly, consistently, and unapologetically for as long as I have a platform and a voice. Thank you.
Kaya. I'm Maddie, a proud Noongar, Bardimara and Māori Aboriginal girl. Today I'm here because I care about families and kids getting help that they need. There's no doubt that every child wants a community and a home where they can laugh, play and feel loved. We need adults to look out for us, no matter where we are or what we're doing. You should always be there for your little ones. It's important to notice our behaviour. Sometimes we act out or get too quiet because there's something wrong. Please pay attention. When we decide to share our feelings with you, don't get mad at us for how we feel. To any kids listening today that is going through hard times, please ask for help. If that person doesn't give it to you straight away, don't stop asking, because someone will eventually listen to you. Adults, you need to act fast and stand up against bad things. If someone is hurting a family or a kid, we need to stand up and check if we're safe. We need you to show us how to treat people with respect, to model kindness, patience and fairness. When you show us respect in the way you act, we will eventually learn how to do the same. We all have the power to make the world a better place, even if you're big or small. Thank you.
It's really brave to say the things that people don't want to hear. Thank you. Maddie, that was amazing. You're our future, and the future is really bright with people like you in it. And Will, thanks for standing up as a man. I've watched you at this event. I've watched your whole family. Yeah, round of applause. You'll often see Will and Avril and Jess and Mads and their family with their t-shirts on. Just, they'll sit quietly. They watch what's going on. They watch who's there. And they march for their daughter. And every time I see their shirts with Jessie's face on, I think we need to all do better. Because every year that we march and other people are experiencing what they've had to, and then they've lost another little one this year, it's a shame. It's our shame. So next up, we're going to talk about some solutions, because there's lots, right? And in Midland, we know how to get things done. So I want to welcome up Amber and Jasmine from Indigo Junction, from the Youth Empowerment Program that empowers young people within a school environment, to talk about what respect looks like in a community setting. They're going to do a little bit of a Q&A and come and hang out. So make them welcome, and then we will go on to have a little bit of a chat from the Minister. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Miss Maddie, we are listening to you. And I'm so proud to sit there and to hear your beautiful, brave words next to your gorgeous mum and your nan and pop as well. So thank you. Listening to children, it is the most important thing that we have to do. As a little person myself, my very first Christmas was spent with a story about how my dad came in and urinated all over the Christmas presents and threw them out. As children, we hold the stories, we hold those memories, and if we do not have people around us to teach us and to talk to us about what is right and what is wrong and what is acceptable, we believe that that is the way things are, and they're not. So we've done some work around really listening to children, and particularly young people in schools, and working with them to develop a program to talk very openly and honestly about what good relationships look like, what should they look like, how to make their voices be heard, and to be respected. So I'm going to invite Jasmine, who's been working in the schools this year in this community, to talk to us a little bit about what those beautiful young people have learned and what they've shared with her.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me here today, and thank you to the speakers that came before me and spoke so eloquently and so beautifully. I'm here today because I passionately believe in primary prevention of family, domestic and sexual violence. 1 in 4 women experience family violence. 1 in 3 men admit to using violence in their relationships. And at Indigo Junction and through the program, we know there has to be a better way for these young men. Oh, sorry, my speech is... I really should have changed my settings. So through emotional intelligence, emotional regulation skills, building gender equity, and being an upstander, like Jess's dad spoke about and gave examples of, so thank you so much. This, as well as breaking down rigid gender stereotypes, we can offer young people a better way. Indigo Junction goes into schools and talks to young people about what healthy relationships look like, about what relationships that are free from violence and free from control look like. We talk to young people about how they want their relationships to look. And I know through speaking to so many young people, so many young women, young men, young people of gender diverse backgrounds, they don't want to grow up and perpetrate violence against people they love most. Indigo Junction believes, through the YEP program, that we can really make a difference. So this is a message of hope today, to have those conversations with young people, be open and honest with them, talk with them about what control looks like. When I go into a school, I can tell you that every single person in that classroom, or every single young person, will think that it's normal and okay for their boyfriend to know their location on Snapchat. And if it's not, that partner will get angry with them. These are the kind of conversations we need to be having with young people about what control looks like early, because we can stop domestic violence before it starts. Violence is never okay. And if you have a young person in your life, or little people in your life, we know that they don't want to grow up and be in violent relationships. And we think that that's a skills base. And Indigo Junction, through the YEP program, offers that basis of skills to live free from violence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to now introduce the Minister and ask Jessica Stojkowski to come up, Minister for Child Protection and Prevention of Family and Domestic Violence, to speak to us today. Thanks, Jess.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Angie for the introduction. I'm really honoured to be with you here today, and I'd like to start by also acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. Thank you, Arnie Dyer, for that wonderful welcome to country. I was commenting to you earlier that I'm born and bred West Australian and never learned anything throughout my schooling years about culture, Aboriginal culture, and the way that I learn now is through welcomes and acknowledgements to country, so thank you. I would also like to acknowledge Alison, Maddie and William for your heartfelt words today. I too am never scared of having hard conversations. William, it's why I decided this year the focus would be on men and boys. It was a hard conversation, but you actually stood up here and lived the vision that I had back in March when I told everyone that we were going to focus on men and boys today, and looked around to the horrified looks in the room for 16 days in WA. I'd also like to acknowledge Steve Catania, the local member for Midland, Michelle Maynard, the local member for Swan, the Honourable Casey Hurst, MLC, Tanya Lawrence, MP, member for Hasluck, and Mayor Tanya Richardson from the City of Swan. And of course, the Chief Executive Officer of Midless and Swan Family and Domestic Violence Network Chair, Angie Perkins. I want to take a moment before I really start to recognise the victim survivors and those of you here today that carry lived, or more appropriately living, experience of family and domestic violence. Your presence is powerful and your courage doesn't go unrecognised. I acknowledge the devastating impact that family and domestic violence has on individuals, on families and on communities. And I honour the strength and the resilience of those who have survived and those who continue to survive. Can I pay my respects to Jessica and to all of those who did not survive, to their families, their friends and their loved ones. Jessica should be here today. They all should. Thank you all for being here today, and a sincere thank you to the guest speakers for sharing your insights and your experience. And how wonderful was that performance from the Mujaknunga Community College School Choir. I think they've actually left, but let's give them another round. Oh, there they are, right in front of me. There we go. As a musician myself, there's nothing more wonderful than hearing children sing, and hearing you sing in language is even better, so well done. Together we honour and we pay tribute to those who have tragically lost their lives because of family and domestic violence, and to reflect on the far-reaching impacts that this issue has on all of us. Every single person here today is sending a message that we are united in this effort. Our community stands together and we will not tolerate family and domestic violence in our communities. This is an amazing turnout, and for the 12th Midland March that matters, no excuse for abuse. And I thank you all for being here today. The 16 Days in WA campaign is an important initiative for the state government. It's about bringing together the entire West Australian community in a shared commitment to play our part to ending family and domestic violence. 2025 marks the 9th year of the campaign, with this year's theme being Stopping Family and Domestic Violence, Play Your Part. It's a reminder that each of us has a role to play in driving cultural change by challenging harmful behaviours and attitudes that lead to family and domestic violence. Preventing violence means stopping it before it starts. That begins with challenging gender inequity and disrespect wherever we see it, in our homes, in our workplaces, our schools, our communities, during sporting events or community events. It means dismantling structures that allow inequality to exist. We know that no one single action will make a difference in eliminating family and domestic violence in our community. But what is important is all of the small actions that we make when we play our part in setting a new standard. A standard that reflects a community where violence against women and children is never tolerated. A community where every person takes responsibility for challenging the beliefs and the attitudes that fuel disrespect and violence. As the new Minister for the Prevention of Family and Domestic Violence, I'm proud to be a part of a government that continues to lead positive actions to address family and domestic violence in all its forms. For the first time, as I said, the 16 Days in WA campaign is focusing on men and boys, to champion respect for women and to take positive action to support this movement across our state. But let me be clear, this is not about demonising our men and boys. It's about recognising that men have a vital role to play in making sure that all women, our sisters, our mothers, our daughters and our friends can live without the threat of family violence. We know that the majority of men are good men, and now we need those good men to lead by example, to speak up, to step up, to show what respect looks like in everyday life, to have those conversations that Indigo Junction was talking about respectful relationships. Because a truly safe community starts with the care we show one another, especially to those who are most vulnerable. Building safe and inclusive communities is a key priority for the Cook government, and we want every person to feel secure at home, at work, and in the community. But we also want to make sure that when they are not safe, they have somewhere to go. That's why I was very proud to stand with Indigo Junction on Sunday with the Premier to announce $3.7 million for an extension of the Midland Refuge. We're extending it by 5 units, which almost doubles the capacity here in Midland. And this has come about through the advocacy of many people in getting our government to understand the need that is present here in the Midland community. And so I just want to thank also Steve and Michelle for bringing their concerns to me about the need here in Midland, and for other community service providers like Indigo Junction who talked with me about a solution. So I thank you for all being here today. I look forward to joining you on the march to play my part. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Okay, I'm the final act and then we're going to march. So get ready, police marching band. 2 minutes and then we're up. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, speakers. Ali, Will, Maddie. It's hard being honest all the time, but you're brave, Al. We really appreciate it. You've got the solutions, you're committed, and you are valued. We, all of us, must hold on to the belief that change is absolutely possible. We have to believe for Ali, and for Will, and for Maddie, and for every family whose lives have been torn apart by FDV. Maddie, these kids here, they're our future. We, as adults, need to do better. No matter our role, we're all a part of a community. And this is not someone else's issue. This is our issue. It belongs to all of us, and we must act now and think differently. Because what we've been doing isn't working in its entirety. So every single day, we need to march forward with courage, conviction and consistency. It's not just doing this stuff on 16 days, it's every day. Because we can end FDV, it's preventable, right? But it's devastating our country. We must place the confidence in our dedicated advocates and skilled leaders. Many of them are here today, many of them are my friends. You know what you need to do. You need the support to do it. We're ready to guide and work with communities to make lasting, sustainable change. Every one of us has the power to end family and domestic violence, because there will and never will be any excuse for abuse. So I invite you all here to march as one. Bit of AC/DC I can hear. So I'm going on Monday night, so I won't be doing a lot on Tuesday. You've shown up today, now we want to hear it. We, the advocates, the leaders, the loved ones, the victim survivors, have been marching for decades. I can see some of the people from the Women's Centre for Safety and Wellbeing, 35 years of marching. We cannot stop marching until this issue ends. And this is a part of a chapter of our country's history, not its present. I want you to grab a sign, I want you to follow the marching band and walk with us for change. And when the march ends, stay. It's not about just walking and getting the picture and say, oh, I went to that great march in Midland. Who did you talk to? What connections did you make? Did you get the free sausage sizzle and the ice cream and the face paint? Have you had a conversation? Did you build some connections? Did you create new memories? Like Maddie says, there is hope. We'll be here till 1 o'clock. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Your commitment.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a big problem. I mean, I am having a bubble. I'm pretty soon. Yeah. I just ordered I think I won't put the one. And that's something that I have absolutely no doubt that I will get through. No, no toilets! No bubbles! No, no toilets!
The capacity building group provides all the time service on that role. Top of my game. Yeah.